Top 5 biggest takeaways from the Fosters' latest episode? Cruel and unusual. What's going on, YouTube? So we're gonna switch it up a little bit this week. Instead of doing a full episode review, and instead we're gonna talk about the top 5 biggest takeaways from the episode of Cruel and Unusual. And this week I didn't have the Flash to keep me distracted from the Fosters, so I could focus all of my attention on the episode instead of flipping back and forth between channels. So let's go ahead and talk about takeaway number 1, in no particular order. It looks like the guard is manipulating Callie and also probably manipulating other inmates. Now, for those of you who don't know, I missed the first 15 minutes of this episode because, like a damn moron, I thought the episode came on about an hour later than it actually did. So I was confused when I saw this guard that looked like he was smuggling in drugs and giving it to the inmates. So I figured that I maybe missed something that happened in the first 15 minutes of the episode, but later on I went back to watch the first 15 minutes, and unless I somehow still missed something, I didn't see anything about the guard and smuggling in drugs or anything like that. So clearly I wasn't paying attention when this took place in an earlier episode. But nonetheless, the guard is smuggling in drugs and certain inmates are paying for those drugs, and one of the inmates ended up overdosing on one of those drugs. And even though Callie promised to never say anything to the guard about him smuggling in those drugs, that guard is still giving Callie a really hard time, and he ended up breaking one of the windows in the place and then blaming it on Callie and saying that she did it. Oh my god. Nobody likes a crooked guard. I mean, you're not even a rent-a-cop, you're a freaking juvie guard. Why is your ego so gigantic? I swear you can't give some people even a little bit of power without letting it go to their heads. Pathetic. Takeaway number 2, Callie is being tried as an adult, and if she ends up losing this trial, she could go to jail for up to 5 years. Oh my god, Callie. How did we end up here again? You know, you're gonna be an adult very soon. So even if you find a way to get out of this, which I'm sure you will, because we all know the Fosters cannot go this long without you on the show, I mean, let's just keep it real. You're gonna find a way to beat the case. But even when you do, you can't keep doing a lot of the same stupid that you did as a kid. Because instead of going to juvie, you're going to go to jail from now on. And I'm not the only one that's concerned by this either. Her dad is even currently regretting signing over his rights to be the parent to Callie. He even threatened to sue to get those rights back. And even though I think this guy is a bit of a dick, and he's certainly pissed me off over this topic in the past, right now I think he has a right to be a little bit pissed off. I don't want to throw critique on the moms, but control your child. Because until she is an adult, you are legally responsible. So act like it, please. And I know you are acting like it, but you gotta get your daughter under control. Point blank, period. Takeaway number 3. Jesus has woken up and it looks like he may have serious rage issues. I mean, the dude threw a plate of pizza on the floor because it had pepperonis on it. I mean, I know people with anger issues that would look at you and tell you to calm the down right now because it's not that serious. And I also saw in the preview that it looks like he may be having even more rage issues, so this looks like it may be an ongoing problem. I really hope that soon that he can go back to normal somehow though, because I don't want to have to deal with this Jesus for too long. I mean, it's a nice little storyline for the short term, don't get me wrong, but if this is like some permanent change, yeah, no thanks. The stuttering is already kind of getting on my nerves. And the 4th biggest takeaway from this episode is that Emma may be pregnant with Jesus. I mean, she recently bought a pregnancy test for herself. And obviously, recently, her and Jesus just had sex. And if you look in the preview, it looks like that she wants to tell Jesus something very important. Now, I realize being pregnant is a very important issue and everything, but I think Jesus going through the process of being mentally retarded is a slightly bigger issue right now, and I think your pregnancy discussions can wait. I'm just saying. But nonetheless, if she is pregnant, this really throws a curveball into the whole equation. And even if he does recover, I mean, this changes everything. This probably means that Jesus and Emma are at least gonna try to make everything work. And if it doesn't work, well, Emma is always gonna be that baby mama that's gonna be in Jesus's life, even if he does date other women. So I'm very curious to see how this all plays out and if she is indeed pregnant. Of course, she could also get an abortion though, so I don't want to leave that off the table as not a possibility, but we shall see. And the fifth biggest takeaway from this episode for me was that Matt and Mariana broke up. How dare you? How dare you break up after I just started shipping you? You f***ing pricks. And you wonder why I don't ship anybody on this show. Didn't I just get done telling you that the reason that I cannot get involved with ships on this show is because they always break up very quickly and move on to the next relationship? I just got done telling you guys this. And look what happens here. Matt and Mariana break up again after being together for only like what? A week or two? That's what it feels like. And this is why it's impossible for me to fall in love with any ship on this show, because I know they're not gonna be together for long before they break up and move on. Now, the good news is that Matt broke up with Mariana over something that, well, it simply wasn't true. He got the impression that Mariana may be pregnant with Nick, and that Mariana may have had sex with Nick, both of which aren't true. Now, the bad news is that that's not the only reason technically that he broke up with her. The main reason that he really broke up with her is because, simply put, I mean, you know, he can't trust Mariana, which, if I'm being honest, is a very, very fair critique. I mean, Mariana has some pretty big lies and some pretty big mess-ups on her resume. So if Matt were to break up with her and move on and not look back, I personally couldn't blame him. As much as I love Mariana these days, she probably doesn't really deserve Matt. No, not probably, she definitely doesn't deserve Matt. Maybe she does need to go back with Nick. I mean, maybe they're more suited for each other. But I'm definitely not gonna keep going back and forth with shipping Mariana and Matt. I mean, I still currently kind of ship them, but my heart isn't really in it. The only thing that I ask is, if you guys are gonna break up for good, just break up and stay broken up. And if you're going to go back together again, then go back together and actually stay together at least for a long time. Because if you get back together and break up again anytime soon, I'm done. And the only ship that I'm going to ship on this show is going to be Steph and Lena. Every other ship on this show can go f itself, because I ain't got time for all of this unstable bullshit. But let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comment section below. And if you guys really enjoy my videos and want to help me make many more videos for you guys going forward, check out that Patreon link in the description box. But I'm done talking. If you guys enjoyed this video, you know what to do. But as always, until next time.